our school singing.
Yeah.
And parents are old, and we thought we have to be here to look after them, basically, because there's no infrastructure like in London where you can call Waitrose and they deliver everything. And so we decided to stay, and God, it was the right decision.
Yeah, well, that was just as well. Yeah.
I mean, I feel so guilty. I mean, we've had so much freedom here, apart from the initial. When I arrived on the 16th, I had to go into quarantine because UK was considered not the safe place to come from on the 16th.
Yeah.
And there was one guy sick on our plane. You know, they checked all of us. We had to sign the papers and stay in lockdown for 2 weeks.
Right.
Usually. So it was the right decision.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've probably been better off there than you've been here.
And to do this concert was a real luxury nowadays. You know, I feel also guilty about that.
No, it's fantastic. So was this something that was going to happen anyway, or?
No, absolutely. Because I wasn't going to be here. I was going to be in Loughborough now.
Yeah.
I was going to cover Wharton in Valkyrie.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so this was because they've had to basically cancel some of their events because artists couldn't get here.
Yeah.
They offered us a slot, and they've been and it's quite. There aren't that many of those happening. I mean, it's like once a week during this pandemic. They've had this. It's called One Alone in the Studio or something like that.
Yeah.
The translation of the event is, and it's basically we rehearsed there. We don't have a piano where we are. We rented this place because we stay with our parents or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
So they offered us the Studio One in the radio, which is like. We rehearsed there alone.
Yeah.
For a week. There were hardly any people in this huge building. You know, can you imagine going into BBC and it's empty?
And it's empty. That's
BBC
amazing.
radio and allegedly television studio is separate.
Yeah.
So we rehearsed there for a week. I can rehearse here in the flat. I have a little electric keyboard, so I've been basically doing Joyce, my singing teacher's exercises.
Oh yes, yeah.
And then singing through Wotan in Valkyrie on the consecutive
Yeah.
And of course taking some time off as well, because the beginning was tough. The quarantine of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Have you been through some of it?
No, we haven't had it, and in fact, nobody around. I think there are cases in care homes in Woodbridge, but nobody we know has had it. So we haven't had to quarantine. Although Peppy, my wife, is in an at-risk group, you know, because she's had asthma all her life, so you know, breathing would be an issue. So we've been very careful. She's stayed in, and I've been doing all the shopping. So I'm becoming very good at shopping, you know, spotting the bargains and things. But no, it's been a very strange time.
I can tell you 2 weeks of no personal contact with any living being. That includes animals, you know, like cats or dogs. Nothing.
That is very strange.
My life.
I can imagine that being very difficult. Yeah.
And at the end of the second week, it was really, really very tough.
And I think it makes people scared once you do go out.
Yeah.
They try to.
Yeah,
they keep apart, and it's just not. It's not good.
I mean, you know, the local, the same radio, same radio as well. It's Latvia National Radio. Called me for an interview, and all I could talk was the hygiene. You know, don't touch your face. And I was calling the instances here about the airplane, you know, because the airplane was supposed to be safe repatriation airplane, and nobody had masks on. Everybody's walking around the plane and selling stuff.
Yeah.
you know, and there were lots of obviously people who knew each other, so they're standing up,
Yeah.
walking to the plane and talking. So I called next day the local office of whatever it is, infection and blah blah, and I wrote to Latvian ambassador in London about it.
Wow.
So they contacted the Air Baltic and changed the rules.
So
The next day was all changed because of my report.
Well done.
They didn't let people, because there was one person sick with COVID, then it turned out.
So they were coughing,
So,
and yeah.
He wasn't coughing quite, but still, you know, the safest thing is for people to just sit.
Yeah.
It's not like it's it's only 3 hours flight, so it's only get up if you absolutely need to, but certainly. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
But afterwards, you know, I've been able to go outside. We bought a little old car so we can go to the seaside, and I can practice here. There's a WhatsApp group in this wonderful little house, so my neighbors are all aware. I can practice until 5 p.m. Singing my partner. It has thick walls, so not disturbing too much. So it's been wonderful. Apart from normal sleepless nights of thinking about future and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The future. We all have to think about that, don't we?
Yeah.
What sort of are there still any jobs that haven't been cancelled for you in the rest of the year, or is everything gone?
There is one job in France, in Nice. I've been invited in August to go there to a recital, and then also actually a recital for the Wagner Society there.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just anxiously now awaiting this 2-week quarantine thing, because if that happens, of course, that will not be possible, because that means I would have to go there and then would that they would do the same. So there'd be 2-week quarantine in France as well. So that makes it impossible.
So that when in August? Late, early or late?
Mid-August.
Mid-August.
Okay. So it could, of course, change by then.
Could still happen, but maybe not. Yeah. And what about in this country? Anything?
Yeah, well, the September event is cancelled in the Saffron Hall. You know, there was going to be Tannhäuser. That has been cancelled. And other things. Quite a lot of festivals now in the summer, and a lot of concerts. Oratory of concerts, they've all been, and that's understandable. You know, knowing the kind of stories we hear from. There's one choir in Netherlands, I believe, and one in the States, where practically, you know, something like 80% got infected.
Yeah.
But then they didn't really do anything. No precautions. My brother is he's choral conductor, professional. He's going next Sunday to Stockholm to conduct radio choir in Stockholm. They haven't canceled anything.
No, they haven't.
They have different rules. So he's going there, and he's going to rehearse for 2 weeks. They're all 2 meters apart. I believe they even have some kind of screens between them as well. I'm not sure. And he's going to stay well away from all of them. But they are pretty relaxed about it. And then he comes back, and he'll have to quarantine for 2 weeks afterwards. But it's well worth it, because everything else is cancelled.
It's a chance to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long do you think you'll stay in Latvia?
It's difficult to know. Probably. I mean, I'm reading news every day. As soon as here, situation is now really relaxed. On the 9th of June, they're going to announce the new measures, but for now, I mean, there are like hardly any new cases every day. It's maybe 1 to 4 cases every day, and I think there have been only 22 casualties so far altogether.
Right. Yeah.
So the early lockdown here worked really well. So as a result, they did an early lockdown, and then fairly quickly they realized that they could relax the rules for people who are here. They isolated all the cases which were early cases before they closed all the air, airspace on the 16th of March. They closed everything. So then it became quite easy to control it as a result. And now, as a result, they can open up, and they can also now. It's the similar situation in all Baltic states. So Lithuania and Estonia is similar. So they've opened the borders between them, so we can travel in all the three states freely now. And I believe that there are flights opening every day to countries which are okay.
Yeah.
UK is not at the moment.
No, the UK is, yes, been hit pretty badly. Yeah.
So I probably would be able to get back there, but we're still looking after our parents. I'm still visiting my parents every 4 or 5 days, bringing food and just having lunch outside their house because they can't go anywhere. And also my partner's, the pianist who plays in the concert, Diana's mother. She's also we rented an apartment right next to her, so we can be there and shopping, and so we're still doing it. We're still cautious because they're in an age group that even with quite few cases, we're still wearing.
You still got to be careful. Yeah. Well, it must be very nice for them to have you here.
My mother is over the moon. It's great because I've been in the UK now for. Is it something like 24 years, I think? It's a very long time. I came as a very young student. I stayed.
I remember I first met you.
We did a performance together.
The Eccles Semele with Evelyn Tubb and Michael Field. So was that your first year?
I'm not sure if it was the first or second or something. Which year? Was it something like 98 or?
I think even earlier than...
earlier than that. I think I came over in '96, and since then, of course, I've been back here. I've been singing a lot of oratorio performances, and also with Latvian National Opera. But that is always, 10 days, maybe 1 month maximum. Yeah. But I've been here for 3 months. Was it April? No, not quite yet, but soon it's going to be 3 months.
Yeah.
So for our parents, it's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, must be.
But I hope that the life can go back to some kind of normality.
I mean, it will eventually. I think it'll take longer still for us to be able to sort of do performing arts in the way that we've been used to. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
I've tried a couple of Zoom performances for various things.
Yeah.
And that is, so, I mean, it's nice. It's nice to reconnect with the people, and it's with people you know. Yeah. And so it's, but of course, all our training for decades of training the voice to sound great in the big hall.
It's not so good.
To the the Zoom, whatever they do there, it's pretty. Yeah. It's like, it is frustrating, of course. It's lovely to do it, but
you need the real thing. You need the real thing, and live music needs a live audience. It has to. Yeah. But we'll get there. Remind me, what was the first thing you did for Master Singers? Because I can't quite remember.
I think, was it 2018 when we did Siegfried Act 2? Okay. That must have been the first. And I certainly remember I was incredibly nervous, and I felt like a total imposter, and it was my first time, because that was even before I sung then Fasolt at Loughborough.
Yes, so that really was your sort of first
time. Wow. And that was my first. I had sung Reinmar before, but that really is, it's almost a chorus role.
It's pretty much
it's an ensemble role. Yeah. So singing Wotan suddenly in Siegfried was like diving into a deep end of the pond, for sure. Yeah. And then I did Loughborough, and then last autumn we did Act 3, where I felt much better. I really loved it when I relaxed into it, and now I practice, every second day or so, and I just love every minute of it. And I'm so grateful for, I had a couple of awards from master singers and Reese, and that has enabled me to, really study those roles in depth. Before I came here, we did weekly sessions with Kelvin, on Autumn. Yeah. So I can really work on it myself, because I need it. It's very difficult to study that kind of stuff on your own.
Of course.
And you need somebody who has done it many times before, because there's lots of tradition and knowing how to go. And Tony Legg, in the performances we did for Master Singers of Siegfried was incredible. Negus and all these wonderful people you have in your kind of orbit have been incredibly helpful. And so I'm honored and humbled and so grateful to be part of this team now, that I can't tell you, it's given me new wings, that's for sure. Because before that, I've been singing the widest repertoire, starting from early music to lots of Mozart and Puccini and stuff. But I feel that Wagner is really something which is just so right, that it's just unbelievable. And that is, you were asking how it all started. I have a suspicion. Do you remember in Salisbury we did this Bohème performance where maybe you weren't involved in that yet?
I know Malcolm was.
Malcolm was, Alcindoro and Benoit. So we were working together for the first time really quite extensively, and I was singing Marcello, which is like, I've done a lot of Colinas for ENO, but this was Marcello, so he probably heard something in my voice which I hadn't heard before. And I think from that moment on, things started to move, without me quite realizing what was happening. But I suspect that was very important, that our work on that action.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's excellent.
So I think that must have been one of the early connections. I wonder if that was what started it all. No.
Yes, that would make sense. The start of a wonderful journey.
Yeah.
And what have Loughborough said about next year? I mean, presumably the plan is to do next year what they would have done this year.
Absolutely. And another thing which I want to say about Loughborough is, do you know that they helped us all financially?
I did hear that. Yes. Yeah.
That was. I mean, I was so moved about that they contacted all of the people who were involved, and said that they've asked the regular audiences if they would mind not their tickets being refunded, I believe, or something like that, so that could go towards help for the artists. And I can't tell you how important that was. That really, because this move here and all of this stuff was so expensive, and suddenly all the money stopping like that. Now there's been some, but that was a really amazing gesture from them. I can't tell you. I was very, very moved by that and humbled, and I thought that was wonderful, because that doesn't happen that often.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that was excellent.
So
that's good to know.
I've become really loyal now to them. They got me there. They got me.
Oh, they're a good bunch. I love them all at Loughborough. I've loved them for many years.
Yeah,
that's excellent. Well, listen, thanks, Pauls. That's brilliant. That's lots of material. What I'll do is I'll sort of edit something out of it.
Yeah.
And give you a chance to look at it and post it up on our website. along with the link to your bit of Wotan, which is excellent, which is really excellent.
Yeah, I was a little bit husky by then because I did the Zoom concert the day before for Diana. Diana's festival was supposed to finish in Bavaria.
Oh.
So there was this big Zoom conference. So of course I helped her with all the technicalities of it.
Yeah.
She's got no idea. So that took so much energy. My goodness. Thank God we had this radio studio. We could do it. And I also sung something for that event. And the next day, of course, we had to have a long rehearsal for the sound and for the cameras and everything. But that was a fantastic thing to do. You know, that it already has, the Facebook one has, I believe, something over 5,000 views, and
wow.
And so that I got really good exposure here because I haven't been quite present in Latvia for many years. I mean, I do some concerts here or there, but that was quite important. So, and also I got comments from people specifically saying that Wagner was especially good and that I should, because I was in the interview, I explained to them about master singers, you see, to the radios here, and that it's a recent thing, and that I've been helped by this organization in UK, and that it's very new to me, and that I'm going to present something which I haven't even sung on stage. You know, I covered Wotan in Rheingold, but I haven't ever in a performance yet. So that afterwards, I received a lot of very, very good feedback from people here saying that I certainly have to go into that repertoire a lot more. And so it was very, very lucky I feel very lucky to have had this opportunity to do this concert here as well. You look great, by the way. I love it.
I know.
I had a short haircut before I left, so mine is still quite.
Yes, but Pepe keeps threatening to cut it, but I think no. Let's just let it grow out.
It's the COVID-19 look, everybody's.
The shaggy dog.
My mother is like this now. My father as well. My father's always had this short hair. Now it's down here, and he looks really quite. We're thinking that he should keep it now. Really fun. It's so good to see you. So, what kind of things do you hear? Do you know anything about what's happening, or are you just all waiting? What's going to happen?
We're all just waiting. It gets a bit frustrating, but yeah, so far just waiting. I mean, I don't know I haven't spoken to Lindsey for a little while, but do
you know, she's been so, one of the Zoom things
you did one of her Zoom things, yeah.
So she's doing fantastically well.
Yeah.
She's doing chorus rehearsals.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Well, she can't hear them. Maybe that's
you just have.
She just goes to plays and sings with the groups. And,
yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. But yeah, we need to think about what we could possibly do in Salisbury in October, and it's still too early to say how much will be possible in terms of getting an audience and
production where people stand quite far apart, and maybe some screens. You know that in Germany they've started teaching in music, higher education, and they use perspex screens.
Okay.
Simple as that. Like in orchestras for brass players,
yes.
You know?
Yeah.
But they use it for chamber music and all sorts of things, which makes perfect sense.
You keep that separation. Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Because we can't use masks or anything like that. But I do hope they will come up with something soon, or the bloody thing will just disappear. That is a lot of scientists who believe that could happen.
That it will just kind of go as quickly as it came. Yeah. Yeah. That would be the best result, but we just have to be patient.
Yeah. And in terms of money, I got my first self-employment 80% thing, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But now I hear that they are going down to something like 25%
I think
next
so,
year.
yes.
So that will be, how are we going to live?
Yeah.
Well, what are we going to, how are we going to survive? I'm sure something will happen. No, I just hope that something good will happen. There's certainly, I mean, as worrying as it is, there's certainly also some really, really nice things I feel kind of in my gut about the whole thing. I can't explain what exactly that is, but this kind of reconnection on much deeper level with my family, with my brother, with my parents, with Diana's mother, all this kind of enforced, no time because we have to rush from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. At the moment, it's okay, but in the future, when the money runs out, it could get difficult.
Yeah. Yes, I think for us it'll be the difficulties will continue a bit further down the track. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there, and we'll support each other.
Yeah, that's what we have to do. Well,
Yeah.
that's also what has amazed me. The support which we give to each other. Even in UK, it's been a fantastic. Joy Mamas, my teacher, she's on her own now completely.
Oh,
but
right.
she said that in her street, every single person has offered help, and if she needs something, and she's got and she's constantly on Zoom with everybody. She's not. She doesn't feel like she's abandoned and alone or anything. Here as well, I walk, to these big tower blocks of hundreds of apartments, and you see signs down. I'm 11-year-old girl. If you have a dog you need walking, I'm very happy to do it. It's just really moving, and people offering with shopping. They leave on these big tower blocks as well messages. If you need help with shopping, please take this number. And they've left. You know how they used to do it with
you tear off a strip. Yeah.
It's obviously for older generation who are not so good with mobile phones, so they can take it off and then call these numbers. And so there's been wonderful network among people and helping each other. I haven't felt any real kind of negativity out of it. It's just really made people much nicer, I feel.
That's brilliant.
Except, some political current news. That's quite interesting, all of that. But
do you get much reporting of UK news?
Well, I check my Apple News every morning. I don't watch particularly a lot of. I don't have television here, so I don't know what they report on in news and stuff like. I just check news on the internet all the time, both UK and here. And no, it's a lot more about the doom of no deal Brexit, which they are concerned.
Yeah.
Not so much about coming, because they don't care about that much too much. But certainly Brexit gets people, and they're all kind of perplexed and confused, and they don't quite understand what's the point of all of that is.
They're not wrong there, I think. We all are.
I feel slightly guilty. Roger Lee asked me a while ago. He wrote me an email. He wanted me to have my thoughts about Brexit. And I started writing this reply, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't finish it. I just didn't think. I thought there's nothing new I can add, or so I have to write to him and apologize that I never replied. But I didn't feel like I could do anything comprehensive and to add to this subject. It's just so, about this whole visa regime that now that you'll have to pay for. So for orchestras to come in here, how much are they going to have to pay to participate in the proms?
Yes, crazy. It's crazy, isn't it?
How many orchestras do they have through there, and if they all have to apply for working visa, which is, what was it? I can't remember. It's something like £250 or
I think it's
100.
I think it's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just be astronomical.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
crazy. Crazy. Yeah. No, you're best off. Too many other people have had their say. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I was waiting the reply on and off. It's been in my draft for months. So now I guess I'll have to send to him a huge apology, or maybe I should. I don't have his number, but I feel really guilty that I haven't.
Do you want me to send? I've got it somewhere. I'll dig it out and send it on to you. And
yeah, great. I could give him a call and
yeah,
just ask him how it is and all of that. Because now I feel really. It was easy when he asked me to do it. Oh God.
Well, there have been other things occupying us all.
I know, but that was before.
Yeah.
Before COVID, well before COVID. So I have no excuse. It's just that I've been writing it, and then and it's in my draft. And I think this is just rubbish. Why would I send this? There's nothing new or nothing I can add or nothing I feel like I'm entitled to say, No, I'm not. I was never very good in politics, to be quite honest. I don't have very strong opinions about politics, because I think it changes everything. It's so fickle, the whole thing.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I just expressing an opinion one day and then something in 3 days and then something in 1 week, and it's never appealed to me.
No.
And how is your family and friends, everybody? Is anybody been affected by this? Has anybody got it? I know that Malcolm said that Paul had it.
Yes, I think Paul was unwell, but I think as far as I know, he's fine now. I've had I'm going to have a conversation like this with him, but no, I don't know personally of anyone else who's had it.
You know Mike Waldron, the new young conductor, Lindsey's friend. He's had it quite bad.
Okay.
Apparently, Lindsey said that he was seriously ill. By the way, he's somebody to watch out for. He's a genius conductor. Absolutely. I had one concert with him, which was one of the best oratorio experiences I've ever had. He's very young, but I think he's going to make it very big.
Okay.
Mike Waldron. Yeah, he's a very cool pianist, but most importantly, he's just got this amazing talent in conducting. It's just wonderful energy, something like, it's so much positivity, and I just loved working. Yeah, he's had it, and then that's about it. I haven't had any other friends or family or friends who said that they've been really sick in the UK.
No, it's funny, but which is why it sort of makes it feel slightly unreal, doesn't it? Because you hear about it obviously, but it's not hasn't come really close, or